Hi there, and welcome to the First Farmers Bank and Trust PPP forgiveness demonstration for all of our borrowers. First off, I just want to thank everyone who was one of our borrowers for the PPP program through the SBA. We really appreciate you trusting us to help you in this time that is certainly difficult for everyone. And we thank you for trusting us, everybody from everybody that you might have interacted with throughout the process, from the loan officer that you went through to the admins that sent you the documents to sign to maybe the tellers or branch managers or retail staff that you turned some of that information or those applications into. So we all just want to take a second and thank you very much for entrusting us with that again. So if you are a borrower with us, when we are ready for you to send in your application for forgiveness, for the PPP loan, you will be getting 2 emails. The first one will look like this. It'll come from do not reply at smartcommunications.cloud, and it will have an access code. And the second email will look like it'll be from the exact same address, but it'll be a separate email that has a link on it. So you can click on that, and you'll be able to start your application for forgiveness. So then you can go back to the other email, the one with the access code, and you can copy and paste that back into here. That will give you access to the application, or well, the application that we have made for the application. Before you get started, you need to agree to these 2 things, agreeing that you must review all the calculations and everything before submitting this form to us. And you understand that the calculations that are being made in this are implemented by the SBA forms and the law that was passed talking about this. So here we go. This should be, starting out, these all should be auto-filled to have the preparer's name, which could be you or an accountant or some designated entity that you have told us. And then it would have, this is the email that those links should have been sent to. So that all should be accurate. And a lot of this form will be pre-filled for you. Make sure at any point, if you need to save and come back to it, you can click this save button right here. And you can go back to that link and click it and click back into your access code and put that back in, and it'll save where you're at, and you'll be able to pick back up where you left off. So is the preparer an authorized representative of the borrower who will be signing this application? Yes, I am. And for this example, I'm going to be the president, if I could spell president, of my own company. So PPP Example LLC, so Paycheck Protection Program Example LLC. This is a spot where you can fill in your DBA name if you have one. If you don't know what a DBA name is, you most likely do not have one. So if you don't know what that is, just ignore it. Also, another quick thing to point out, at any point, if you have any questions on anything or see one of these question mark boxes by anything, if you just hover over that or click on it, then it should pop up with some helpful information for you. This one's maybe not quite as helpful as some of the other ones, but those question marks are very helpful if you have any questions. So a lot of this, again, should pre-fill for you your tax ID number, which is your EIN or your social if you're a sole proprietorship, most likely, and file Schedule C. Borrower phone number, you will need to input that. I'm just going to put in the phone number here at our headquarters here in Converse. The street address should pre-fill, and again, this is all the information of our bank location, branch, and headquarters here in Converse. Again, all of this should pre-fill. There's a lot more of these green question mark boxes here. Your loan number should pre-fill, should look something like this from the SBA. You probably will not be familiar with this number unless you really meticulously read your loan documents. Total PPP loan amount. For this example, I just applied, or I put in the number rather that you could have received if you made a net income of $100,000 as a sole proprietor and had 0 employees other than yourself. So that was maybe the max you could have applied for this example. lender PPP loan number. This is the loan number that is on our system and in our books. So this is the number that you should refer to if you have any questions about the loan and you're talking to someone from First Farmers. This is the number they'll be able to be familiar with. Date of the PPP loan funds disbursement. This should be the date that those funds are either by check sent to you or dispersed into your account or wired to your account. Number of employees at the time of the loan application. For this example, just one, just myself, and I have not fired myself yet. So I am the only employee still for my fictional company here at the time of application. One of me is enough. So we will go ahead and just stick with one there. Now it's asking this question: did the PPP Example LLC, so the company, did this company, along with its affiliates, receive in excess of $2 million in PPP loans? So if I had this company that made that had 2833 in PPP loans, and I had another related entity that got a loan for $2 million, I would click yes. But in the very vast majority of our cases, you and all of your affiliate companies probably did not receive in excess of $2 million. Did you apply for an EIDL advance is another good one that some people have questions on. So if you got an advance from the EIDL, that was the grant portion of this, and it would have been typically $1,000 per employee if there were still any funds available. You would select yes and be able to click or type in the amount of your advance and the EIDL application number. In my case, for my fictional company, I did not apply for one of these, so I can click no. Now this is very important. This is the 3508 EZ eligibility. We're trying to figure out whether you are eligible for the EZ form. And as you can tell, this form will be easier for you to fill out. So you want to get the EZ form if at all possible. That will show up right down here if you're eligible for the EZ form, and you should definitely click this one if it pops up. So these are the questions to qualify to determine whether or not you are eligible for the EZ form. Is a borrower a self-employed individual, independent contractor, or sole proprietor who had no employees at the time of the application, did not include any employee salaries in the computation of the average monthly payroll? For my example, yes. And see, there you go. It already pops up. As long as that's a yes, that can pop up. So did my fake company reduce salaries or hourly wages by more than 25% for any employee? No, we did not, because it's just me. Did my company reduce the number of employees or average paid hours of employees? No, we did not, because we don't have any employees. Was this company unable to operate at the same capacity after February 15th as it was before February 15th? So this is just certifying again that you had some sort of effect of coronavirus and that you were eligible to receive the loan in the first place. Again, here's some more questions and details on this. Again, if you are eligible for Form 38508EZ, you want to click this form and go next. If you have any questions about it, you can go here and look at this eligibility criteria again. But let's go ahead and select next. Now again, we're going to look at the expenses for the EZ form. You're going to enter your loan, payroll, and forgivable expense information to calculate the loan forgiveness amount. We are going to look at the 24-week covered period. Typically for most of our borrowers, especially if you just applied just for your own net income, we encourage you to pick the 24-week period, as that'll be helpful for you. You can read about the covered period here, but you should definitely speak to your, if you have any questions about this, speak to your loan officer that put in your application or your CPA, one of the two, if you have a good relationship with them. What was the frequency with which employees are paid? In my fictional company, I just pull some money out every month whenever I need it out of my company just to pay myself and pay my wages to myself. So, all right, so here we go. For payroll costs over the last 24-week period now, so over the last basically 6 months, we'll say, because we did this at a rate of $100,000, we'll say over 52 weeks, and then multiply that by 24-week period. So I took out over the last 6 months about $46,000 in income for my fictional company. Now, for this company, I did not make any mortgage interest payments. We're just going to say for this example that my company only rents our building, and then we pay $500 a month rent for our building. So over the 6-week period, that would be $3,000. I'm sorry, 6-month period. Over the 24-week period, that would be $3,000. Now for my utility payments, I pay about $250 a month total. Now these should be exact numbers, but I for my fictional example, we pay about $250 a month. We can multiply that by the 6-month period, and that is $1,500 in covered payments. Now down here, this is all just calculable amounts. Well, this here in the middle is your PPP loan amount that you received. These other numbers are just some calculable amounts that are put through on the form. This is the number that you should really be concerned about down here is forgiveness amount. This is the amount of the loan that will be forgiven. So of this amount, how much will be forgiven? And in this particular example, I should be getting all of this loan received, or all of this loan forgiven. So here we go. Now at this point, there's a summary. You need to review the application summary in the Schedule A. This is what Schedule A is down here. Just that all this will flow through automatically to the official forms. All of these are provided as estimates. Final forgiveness amount will be determined by the lender, so by your loan officer or our SBA team here at the bank, and by the SBA. So what will happen is you will submit this form, your estimates, to us. Our loan officers and SBA team will review and send those amounts to the SBA. So it needs to get through a couple different checks before everything officially gets forgiven. And the lender, I believe, has 60 days, and the SBA then after that has 90 days. So it could be pressed out maybe a little bit before we officially get an answer on anything. All right, so we're through the summary here. Now we need to go to the supporting documents. You need to check here to understand that you are that there are supporting documents that are required for this. You can look here that for the different documents that you must submit with your forgiveness form, payroll, full-time employees, and non-payroll expense type things. Then down here, you want to look at documents that each borrower must maintain, so keep these, but you are not required to submit them to us. So these are things that you should keep on file somewhere, locked away, very safe in your house or at your office. But you do not need to send these to us. So we'll go ahead and go next. You have already agreed that you understand you need to upload supporting documents. So for this top part here, payroll and owner employee self-employed general partner compensation. So here we go. We're going to go with employee payroll. Well, no, this will be non-employee compensation, I guess, because it'll be owner compensation. We'll go to upload here. We'll choose a file. And here in my folder, I already have the Schedule C lined up here. So you will submit that because for this example, I just applied based off my net income for my Schedule C. I can put there Schedule C. Got it. Now, I can remove that. We don't need that. So now here in my non-payroll expenses, we already said that I don't pay mortgage interest because I just rent my building, just in this example. So I'll click rent. I can go and choose the file again, and I can get my rent receipts for the last few months. I'll go ahead and start that upload, add another document, got some utilities to pay for, got my electric bills for the last 6 months. We'll upload that, as well as I have some water and sewer bills for the last few months, so I can upload those. So I want my rent receipts. Make sure to put some descriptions in here so we know what we're opening up. Your electric bill and your water and sewer bills, each for the last few months over the covered period. So if you chose the 24-week covered period, send those for the last 6 months. Over the 8-week period, you want to send it over the 8-week covered period that the 8 weeks past your loan disbursement date. Now here last, you can submit borrower demographic information. This is optional, but it's something that the government always likes to get on their forms if they can. Again, this is optional. If you want to, they do it for program reporting purposes. Congress asked the SBA about this. So if you want to put in each principal borrower, which would be anyone that owns 20% or more of the business, with the veteran status, gender, race, and ethnicity status. So for this example, since it's optional, I'm just going to put no. You can feel free, please, to fill that out if you would like. So then we can click next and we are done and ready to go. If you select the checkbox below here, you can and click this right here, the submit and e-sign, you will be preparing those documents, e-signing, and submitting your application to your lender. And then we will be able to review it here at the bank and be able to send that on to the SBA. We will keep you in the loop, obviously, on that process and how the forgiveness has gone. Obviously, all this is going to follow all the regulations, guidance, and criteria of everything the SBA's done. But it's pretty simple as long as you're on the easy form. If not, it might be something that you want to walk through with your lender a little more in depth about. Totally understand that. So feel free to give us a call. If you have any questions on anything, you can call or email your lender if you still have their contact information, or feel free to contact me as well. Again, my name is Alec Downing. And my number here at the bank is 765-395-3316. And then my email would just be my first name dot last name at ffbt.com. So Alec, ALEC.Downing, DOWNING at ffbt.com. Again, we just want to thank everybody for trusting us with your PPP applications and forgiveness, and for this relationship that we've either started with you or continued with you. Really hope we can continue to work together in the future. And thank you again from the bottom of all of our hearts just for trusting us in this time that again has been so difficult for so many people. And we hope to hear from you soon, and we hope to get your forgiveness application submitted soon. So thank you again. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and have a great evening or great morning or great day wherever you're at. Thank you.